Yes.
Judge Wood?
Yes. Motion carries 2-0. Okay, new business, acknowledgement of the communication from the Grant County Board of Health concerning the health tax district for 2016. And you have that in your agenda or in your package. I hope you all have looked at it.
Make a motion that we acknowledge the communication from the Grant County Board of Health concerning the health tax district rate assessment.
I will second.
Scott, please call the roll.
Mrs. Colbert?
Yes.
Mrs. Riley?
Yes.
Judge Wood?
Yes. Okay, the next one does not call for action, it's a second reading and final passage of ordinance 07-2116-693. Will you please read, Scott?
Judge, I heard a typo on the agenda. It does require action because it's second reading and final passage, so it will be
You're right, it does.
Right.
Okay.
It's an ordinance of the Grant County Fiscal Court concurring in the findings of the Grant County Planning Commission for a request of Clyde and Mary Doherty, a state for a zoning map amendment, such zoning map amendment being a zone change from agricultural 1 to residential 1A, R1A, on a 1.5329 acre site located on the east side of Baton Rouge Road, 2.4 miles west of US 25, Grant County, Kentucky. This would be second reading and final passage.
Make a motion that we approve the ordinance 07-2016-693, requiring the second reading for its final passage.
I will second.
Okay, Scott, call the roll, please.
Mrs. Colbert?
Yes.
Mrs. Riley?
Yes.
Judge Wood?
Yes. Okay, the Assistant Judge Kimmick will read Resolution 1611.
Your Honor, if I may please address the court briefly regarding the timing of the ordinances to be considered regarding the jail, and not the merits of those ordinances.
Thank you.
I know the court may or may not normally do that, but the court has the discretion to do as they choose regarding hearing persons who appear before them, particularly when they deal with the timing of resolutions rather than the merits of that resolution. So I would respectfully request the court to allow me to speak very briefly regarding that issue, please.
You can speak briefly, sir.
Thank you. I'll probably speak quickly too, so turn up your ears a little bit. I'm fighting allergy issues, so bear with me if you would, please. I appreciate this opportunity. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, ladies of the court as well. I'm here today. I'm Steve Bates. I'm the resident of the county here. I'm here today to talk briefly about the timing of this matter about the jail. I've been a lawyer for about 10 years total in my 2 different careers. Judge here for 29 years serving the circuit. I have vast experience regarding jails and jailers spread across 3 counties and many jailers and certainly a couple of jails at least during that time. I want to make it clear to you, I'm not here on behalf of the jailer, Mr. Hankins. He has his own counsel. That's of no concern to me, and I have nothing to do with that whatsoever in my capacity. I'm here on my own behalf, basically as a citizen, regarding the concerns I have about the resolution and the impact it will have on the safety of this county, because I know about how all the pieces go together regarding jails. I'm here as a taxpayer because I have concern about the cost involved in a matter such as this, which is an enormous undertaking involving an enormous number of dollars. I'm here on behalf of the judicial system to some extent, or the court system itself. There's been discussions about how the court officials involved in this matter, judges and various ones involved, how they felt about this matter, and I'm here to tell you how they feel about it. I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of having spoken with and spent today. I have a granddaughter that hung the moon, and I took about 3 hours from my day today to have a number of discussions with a number of people about this issue of timing of this matter tonight. I spoke with the circuit judge, both district judges, the Commonwealth attorney, and the sheriff. I can speak for them as well as for the rest of us in the court system and put it simply that we have grave concerns about the impact on the court system of this decision. We think it'll have significant impacts on the court system. All of those people I named are elected by the taxpayers of this county just as you all are. So they certainly have a right to do that, and in doing the job for which you elected them, they should speak up when issues come up about this. As a matter of fact, judges can't really address anything in the state except those matters might go to the administration of justice, but they have concerns about this, is all I can tell you. I spent my time in my career many times on the bench telling people I believe in the concept of measure twice, cut once, act in haste, repent at leisure, and I believe very strongly in those principles. And that's concerns we have here about moving forward with this too quickly. What we're asking to be done, and I'll tell you this too, there's a difference between problems with the jail administration and the issue of whether we should close the jail. It's easy to get those two things confused, but those are two completely different concepts with which we're dealing here. So one is one problem, one is the other. And I will say this, during my time, I've had a lot of jail issues come up over many administrations, and grand juries deal with those on a number of occasions. The only thing I'm here to ask tonight, and it's very simple, is that you would, these resolutions regarding the jail, that they would be passed, and the other thing is, of course, the full court's not here tonight. This is an enormous task that's being undertaken tonight. He may have already voiced his concern and approval of this, talking about Magistrate Newman, but I think it would be prudent to have the entire court here on the night on which you're going to deal with something that's significant in the court system, the way all of us involved in it see that it is, before ruling on it. So we're just asking that these motions relating to jail be passed for 30 days, so there can be further discussions about that, about how this should be implemented, whether it should go forward, what information has been gathered at this point, what reports have been gathered by you all, whether it be from the Department of Corrections. In the court system, we often, in matters like this, where it's a really complex, detailed matter involving numbers, we hire forensic CPAs, and they can look at the records out there for the last several years and come in and give you a pretty clear idea about the path we should take in this. So for the court system, it would be a issue to have to move all these people around for a number of other things. So that's one issue. Another issue, though, is whether it's in the best interest of the people of the county. So I think you ought to spend a month or two looking at this from what I was told today. I'm aware of a county of approximate size in central Kentucky where they looked at this issue, appointed a committee, and spent about 6 months looking into the issue of closing it, and ultimately decided not to based on the numbers that came up in their system. I don't know if they gave the people in the court system any consideration in that, but when they crunched the numbers, it worked out that way. So I would only ask that you exercise a little bit of caution in this matter, pass it off for 30 days. I don't see an enormous impact in that. So you can have the full court here, and there can be some further discussion regarding it. So that's all I had to say. I talked as quickly as I could and got through it. I'll be happy to answer any questions that any of you all might have before I step aside or get out of the way, whichever you prefer.
Okay, I do have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Back in May, we had a resolution adopted that says, a resolution of the Grant County, Kentucky Fiscal Court authorizing and directing the county judge executive to proceed in the research of long-term options related to the maintenance and operations of the corrections program in Grant County to include, but not limited to, the concept of regionalization and or privatization of the jail. It goes on to talk about inadequacies. 8 out of our sample of 48 disbursements, 8 invoices were not paid timely. Out of the 7 sample, 11 had no supporting documentation. 3 transactions were used for unauthorized purchases. Disbursements to inmates for closeout did not have inmate or employee signatures. Now that come out of a report. We adopted this back in May. And I guess where my frustration comes with a little bit, Mr. Bates, is that this was not a knee-jerk reaction. This was presented in May of what was going on, and until some action was taken, we could not get anyone to listen to what we were trying to present. And I guess that's where I come from, that we've been asking for help, and until we do something, now we start getting some reaction to it. And
Well, if I may,
Okay.
I knew nothing about the May part. I knew about last week's part. I knew nothing
Yes.
about
Do
that.
you know anything about the last 18 months? And you do have visibility to like the past 10 to 12 years that this county, I mean, we're bleeding with the expenses that come along with this facility. Not just what we create on ourselves, but also